Alright, it's all good?
Cool. Sick.
Right.
Welcome to Arcade Bitesize 5, the 5th iteration of a bite-size arcade format in a
And
bite-size.
coming live from, well, not live, but coming from an open day at FreePlayCity.
What open day? Like, it's not university. Open day.
Well, we are open today.
Yeah, we are open today, yes. So there are people walking around. You see them downstairs. A lot of new people as well who are coming in and looking at all the music games going, why have you got so many of these? But it's pretty cool because a lot of people haven't seen these games before, and that's fair enough. So,
True.
But yeah, people are coming back now and just need a bit of momentum. But let's keep bite-sized news coming in. I compiled this in November, December because we were going to do bite-size and it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
So this is some old and some new stuff, and actually some stuff that's only happened in the last week. So that's pretty cool.
That's true.
We'll start with the oldest news first, so like November time. LV's Rhythm Heaven, which I saw privately on Williams Amusements. They're reselling it because it had a £1 sticker I put on it, £1 play. And I found a guy who had it, and I thought, oh, he's just taking the sticker off. I said, hey, dude, did you get this from Williams? He went, no, I got it privately from Japanorama. I'm like, wow. So there's 2 Rhythm Heaven cabinets in the UK floating around the void. So I still don't know what happened to LV's cabinet. Just down the road, second bit of news, the Slice by Pizza Pilgrims, and they have our favourite cabinets.
Main cabs.
Main cabs, yay! So you can play 6-button Pac-Man and things like that. And oh no, I messed that up. Sorry, I read that too quickly. We already said that in the last bite size. This bite size, it's like the Finsbury Park location. It's on South Bank, so near where Namco used to be. And
Oh, so there are Pizza Pilgrims there now?
with 3 main cabinets.
Oh, slap. I didn't know.
But yeah, so I mean, if you're having a pizza and you got main,
Why not?
I'd play it. I mean, I'd prefer Pandora, but it's funny that I prefer a rip-off of a rip-off. Electrocoin is now open. They have opened their Funland in Russell Square, and just the week that they opened, Tiantian Market, who are expanding at a rapid pace. It's a Chinese superstore, quite high-quality goods. They do a lot of Japanese snacks and food, and they're opposite Funland. So I think that's a 2-in-1 for them. They've got all the Chinese students coming, Asian students. And at the time of writing, they had Funky Gators. It's an update of a Whack-A-Gator, like Whack-A-Mole thing by Namco.
Is it actually called Funky Gators?
It's called Funky Gators.
I can't believe
It's Funky Gators. That's why I loved it, because I love the word funky. So you hit them physically with a mallet, but there's a digital screen displaying all the damage, and the gators, electronic gators going up and down. It's quite recent. It's like 2017 or something by Namco.
Okay.
Really, really nice cabinets. It's actually sick. They've got 7 or 8 pinballs, a lot of pinballs on test because they work for like Williams and Stern.
Oh, okay.
They get like really nice pinballs, and they've got at that time they had DDR X2 on a Raw Frills cabinet, so the less we say about that the better. But since then they've got a DDR white cabinet, and since then there's a trade show called EAG, which is normally every January of the year. It's an arcade show that happens in London, as London's the centre of the universe, obviously. The rest of England doesn't exist, obviously. Yeah, sadly, it's just in London. But that got cancelled because of COVID restrictions and everything, so they put it back to March. So Electrocoin had their own open day in their own place, and Electrocoin are in a big warehouse place near Park Royal, West London, and they're next to UDC, and they both had open days. UDC had Stepmania X with arcade hardware, and Electrocoin had DDR-A. I went into Electrocoin, they were like, oh, you shouldn't play SMX, Well, I mean, they like each other, but they said, we shouldn't play DDR. I'm like, yeah. Yeah, I'd play it if you had DDR-A 20+. He went, oh, yeah, we do, here you go, here's a test kit. I'm like, what? That doesn't exist. That actually doesn't. Yeah, well, you're looking at it. I'm like, oh yeah, I am. Okay, cool. So they didn't put it in the machine end, but they promised to put it in Funland, and it's in there. It's the only A20 plus offline kit in the world. That's legit. Ooh. I say that's legit because there are other A20 kits in arcades, but this is the only legitimate one. And it's great, and the pads are good, and people are going there to play, and people are happy, man. It's a proper scene. Like, you can walk from LV and play XX Pump, and then you can walk to Russell Square and play DDR, and it's a cool arcade. It uses swipe cards, got some nice pinballs. Yeah, so that's really cool. There's a glitch bar in Shoreditch, which apparently opened up a while back, but it completely skipped my mind. They have a large-scale Extrix racing, Point Blank, Tekken Tag, Euromix 1 cabinet, and of course they've got Pandora and MAME.
Ah, fine.
Which is really nice.
Usually it's the thing to round up everything anyway, so...
Yeah, if you're going to Shoreditch, it's a bar with arcade games, and yeah, it's fun. It's better than not having it.
Reminds me of Super Barrio in Glasgow.
Yes.
I went there when I was just before Christmas, and yeah, all I remember is they're hustled for not being able to shoot on the bottom half of the screen.
Oh. I mean, I'll go. I'll check it out. I've heard about it.
No, it's all right. It's all right.
So we're still in London now. There's 1920 bar. It's called 1920 bar. They've got Point Blank, MAME. They've got pool, but they've got one pinball table. But the main thing that caught me out, or caught my attention, was so recently I've been playing Darts Live. That's run by Sega Sammy.
Okay.
And that's
is it under the Sammy brand specifically?
Sega, but I believe Sammy on the card it says Sega Sammy. That I got. So you log on with your card, you play darts. There's a little camera like Pump had, and there's a little screen, so you play people around the world. For me, it's normally people in France, and they're quite aggressive. They get like, you know, put the middle fingers up at you and stuff and laugh. But it's fun. And sometimes I've had a couple of Japanese matches, and you just play darts with people around the world. It's really fun. When I went, they were doing a Sonic New Year's promotion. So if you played enough time, you got like Sonic characters on your profile. You could have you could have your face with a little Sonic hat on. It was
that's nice,
kind of cool.
I didn't actually think that they would do something like that. That's actually pretty good.
They'll release something like that in Europe, but you got to look for it. But Darts Life had their own website. But this interests me. 1920 bar, they had Phoenix Darts, and Phoenix Darts is a Chinese thing, very similar to Darts Live. But I didn't realise they had them in the UK. They do have a few in the UK.
Oh wow!
You get your Phoenix card, you log in, and yeah, you play different themes. At one point, they had a Dragon Ball theme, and I wanted to get a Dragon Ball card, but on eBay it's like 120 quid. But DBZ, Dragon Ball Super did a promotion with Phoenix Darts, so you got like special login cards, which is very cool. It just, these things aren't really promoted, but it's, I think for our people who go to arcades, this is the kind of thing they love. Like I log into my card, I can do like Sega games, I can battle people around the world.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense when it comes to people that are interested in that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It's the connectivity of it all. It's like when people like play against each other on Jubi and that sort of stuff.
You just walk past these bars, you wouldn't even know, like because there's zero promotion.
Yeah. What is promotion in the arcade industry?
well, these are bars and stuff. So yeah, I mean, so in Wandsworth, where you got Gravity, the Trocadero sort of theme park lookalike, 3 minutes down the road is Strike Wandsworth, and they're going to have an arcade opening very soon. So another bowling alley, an arcade.
I've actually been to Gravity now, so I can actually talk about how I felt with it.
How do you feel about Gravity?
It's okay. It reminds me of, if you take away all of the niche hardcore games from Truck, it reminds me of that.
Oh.
More modern.
No, you know, that's cool. I'm coming from a very niche background.
It's very much the more made to be, you go there with friends who don't game as much or not as interested in arcade games to play like random stuff. They do have a Scarlet Dawn cab there though.
Oh, nice. That's a really nice cabinet.
And all of their machines are done by card swipe as well.
Yeah, I saw that Amazon partner with them. It's called Gamer Green, and you get an app, like an Amazon app, and you put your points into your card, right? And you scan it on the app.
It's that, yeah. Overall, the presentation is really nice. The esports area was a bit it wasn't lacking, but there was like nobody there playing it at the time.
I think it's great to have everything under one roof, though.
Yeah, it's nice. It's good to have everything. The bowling looks really nice.
There's a specific word for it. I forgot a word, but it's in there somewhere. But it's when you basically suck someone into your entertainment complex, and then you make it so they don't go out, because they've got cinema, place to eat, bowling. Obviously, they've got toilets. They've got an arcade. I think it's a feature destination, or there's a word for it. But you give someone so much to do, you're like, why would I leave?
Yeah,
which I guess is what Gravity are doing.
Yeah, it's just exactly what Gravity does.
Did. Yeah, and EAG trade show postponed to March, and the gambling show postponed to April. Why am I talking about gambling on an arcade podcast? Because Konami are there, and I always say, Konami, when you're bringing out your latest Konami arcade games, and they go, shut up, Toby, have a bag. And the bag normally has a pen, little Konami notebook. And they know I'm coming. Some of them really don't like me, but some like me. So, nationwide, NQ64 opened in Cardiff. They opened in November, actually, end of November. NQ64 is a gaming bar, and there's a pretty good vibe. Like, I've been to a couple of them, and the vibe's like nice. It's not sort of, I find some places are a bit try-hard. Subjective opinion from myself. I find people like trying like, yeah, we're cool. Look how cool we are. We're going to post how cool we are. We're cool. Please believe us. Please. But at NQ64, like, yeah, whatever. Like, you come play or you don't play. But they're legitimately, I get a very good vibe from them whenever I went.
Cool. That sounds good.
So, new game in Southampton. Two things about it. One good, one bad. One, I thought it was only Virtua Cop 3 in the country. They said no. Arcade Club in Leeds has it.
Okay, cool.
So Virtua Cop 3, you can play it in Leeds. Amazing franchise, but never had any re-releases or compilations or anything,
No,
really.
I think they had a compilation on the Dreamcast, but I think that's as far as it went, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I can't even double check if I need to double check if it's actually on the Dreamcast.
Yeah,
actually.
the only well,
Let me check.
let's have a look now. There's 2 cabs going on, one in Leeds and a caravan site in Ingoldmells. Shout out to Kieran May on Facebook. Thank you, Kieran May. Kieran May also contributes to Arcade Heroes. He's always got the knowledge and information. But yeah, there's a in Golden Sands, Ingoldmells, they've got Virtua Cop 3 and the Harley Davidson big full-on racing game, which is quite rare.
Oh, actually, it's been ages since I've seen that.
And the other news is, yeah, New Game Southampton are closed down. So they opened briefly for about a year. They recently expanded it, like they doubled their space, and then a month later they just like, yeah, we just had to close. They didn't say why. Probably something. Maybe the landlord decided something, but it was very sudden. And they were doing like events, like tournaments. They were doing pump tournaments, like fighting game tournaments. So that's sad.
That's pretty big.
So rest in peace. And they all supported us and liked our stuff. So thanks to them.
Virtua Cop got a compilation in Europe for PS2 for November 29th, 2002.
Oh, PS2. Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's the
I'll
last version that they did.
Normally everyone like re-releases House of the Dead, like they re-release, you know, like all these games. But Virtua Cop kind of just died. It didn't really.
Yeah, it never sort of went on from that. To be fair, there's a new House of the Dead supposed to be coming out on Switch. So.
House of the Dead.
Yeah, it's a remake of the first one.
Oh, so you think they might remake Virtua Cop as well?
I wouldn't be surprised if they remake it at some point.
Now, not global news, nationwide news. In Sheffield, where Namco Wonder Park used to be, where I used to work there as well, so respect to Namco Wonder Park, rest in peace. They closed in 2007 in Sheffield, and there wasn't really a good arcade there. You had the bowling centre, but people didn't really go. It's entertainment. But now Fun Station opened there, and I also used to work for Fun Station when they were in Shepherd's Bush. So when the Shepherd's Bush location closed down, they moved all those cabinets to the Sheffield location.
Interesting
So
that they got to Sheffield of all places.
No, Sheffield had a really good scene where the Namco was. It was mad busy. I mean, I went to college there. At the time, it was mad busy, and it had a really big, easy to dance scene as well. Actually,
oh damn!
Outside of
fair
London. The sad thing is though, people that into arcades have been there and said like, yeah, like it's just awful. Like, it's like really bad. It's great. It's great for family. It's all ticket machines. There's nothing for people, you know, over the age of like 10, 11.
Oh, okay,
very casual people. It's just all tickets. But respect is open. You can play Mario Kart there. I think Outruns there. And you know, it's better having it than not.
Yeah, I think that's better than nothing, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. And it's a big location. So if you're in Sheffield, you're in Meadowhall. Check it out for sure. Retrodome Barnsley gonna get Gunslinger Stratos 3 if they've already got it. So that's another cabinet. I do believe you're going to try and get 8 cabinets at some point.
Yes, I do plan on trying to get 8 cabinets at some point.
I'm linking them up.
Yeah, the problem is with it's hard to get excited. As someone that was very excited for Gunslinger Stratos 3, and I think Omega was the last version before they retired it. Actually, it was sort of like the 3EX sort of thing. They're just redundant now. They're just paperweights.
It's just a trial mode, and I think you get one stage in offline mode, and that's it. And I think people aren't understanding this and buying it, thinking, "Oh, we can hack it," or "This is good." No, it's not as simple as hacking it. You need a network.
You need not only do you need a network, you need like a lot of them to make it worth it.
Has there been a private network yet? Or
no,
not? But there are a few games that we've got at Arcade Club that.
Arcade Club.
Arcade Club. FreePlayCity, but yeah, we managed to support. So I think Gunslinger Stratos would be great to get.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind working on a network for that because it's one of my favorite arcade games.
Cool. Time Warp Arcade in Bridgewater moved upstairs, so they've expanded. I've been to Bridgewater before Time Warp. They're really nice people, really looking after the customers, after machines. When I was playing, they just came around. Are you okay? I haven't seen you here before.
Okay, cool.
We're playing really cool. So they're going to hopefully have 3 different sections now. So a retro and a modern section, a pinball section, you know, arcade VR section. So Bridgewater, they're quite cheap as well. I think they were £6-7 for the whole day. It wasn't much. It wasn't much at all.
Very cheap.
The history of video games in Bristol had a Street Fighter Alpha 3 tournament, but there wasn't that much information on it. But it was a 32-man cap. Don't know how many people entered, and I couldn't get the results either. But that was just end of November, beginning of December.
That's crazy.
And they also got Para Paradise, the only cabinet in the UK, I believe.
Ooh.
So that's nice. Playhouse Northampton. So some arcade games, Gopher Golf, which is like a pub version of mini golf. But yeah, Northampton has got a barcade, you could say.
It's not too far
Yeah.
from here, actually.
Arcade Hub in Hull. Arcade Club on the brain. Arcade Hub in Hull has got a Ridge Racer 2 twin. So
That's rare.
That's not something that I would really seek out, but I can't remember the last time I saw one.
That's very
I
rare.
can't remember the last time I saw Ridge Racer 2, let alone a twin cabinet. So that's definitely, yeah, that's a rare. NQ64 have also submitted plans to Newcastle to convert a former bar into NQ64.
Ooh, nice.
So that would be their 5th or 6th location.
Really?
Yeah, they're going good. New Wave Arcade in Ripon, or Ripon, probably Ripon, whether that is. Again, I didn't look it out. They've got Ridge Racer Gunwave, Big Buck Hunter, Neo Geo, 4-slot, 18-wheeler. It's £8 per hour.
Ouch.
Yeah, we charge £5 evening. So, but you know what? £8 an hour if you're in Ripon, you want to play those games. I could think, it's a couple of drinks.
Fair dues.
Yeah, so. Oh yeah, so back to EAG coming out in March. I checked Sega's stand. The game selection is interesting. One of the spearhead games was Jumanji with the Rock, based upon the film. And I thought, oh, you know what? Cool. Maybe they've outsourced it to China. I checked the video. It's the mobile games.
Is it the mobile games?
No, it's mobile games like on a 4-player cabinet, but it's like you press one button.
Ugh.
Yeah. It looks nice. Kind of looks nice. And the Men in Black was an actual game, but it's more redemption based. But it was an actual shooting game that it was like a on-rail shooter.
They had that new version of Ghost Squad that was at EAG like a year
years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, it looked. The thing is that it played okay, but it looked really bad at the time.
Oh, because it's just a rehash of the.
No, but it was very pixelated. I don't know if they were running the cab on the wrong resolution and stuff like that. But it was very had like the old, a very first gen PS3 and PS2 gen style look to it.
What do you say in recent times? Like Sega, they've done a blinders with House of the Dead 5 and Daytona USA after the patch.
Yeah.
After the Dead Gen patch. So, which is a lot more than other companies have done.
Yeah.
They have pumped out a lot of stuff that it's just like, dude, like.
I'm just saying the game was good. The game was good.
Yeah.
It just looked a bit weird. Like the game wasn't running on the right settings, sort of thing.
I just hope there'll be one nice game this year. But if not, Sega have put out a few European nice games recently. So,
Is our faith in Andamiro?
Andamiro, get into that. Unit E, who did Neon FM, which never came out in Europe, but it was for sale in Europe because no one ever bought it. Unit E looks a bit like Musica. You press the buttons like Musica. They hadn't had an update for a couple of years. They had an update just before Christmas. 3 new songs. And Final Form by Synthwolf. And Synthwolf has some songs on. He does Point Blank and another song on Pump.
Oh,
But,
okay. That's quite random.
An update after a couple of years, yes. There was a bit like, so they're still supporting the game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's good to hear, but it's also quite random at the same time as well.
Wangan 5DX has come out in the US now.
Nice.
People have a year to upgrade.
Need a European release. Let's go.
Let's hope. But yeah, they've got a year to upgrade. If you don't upgrade your Wangan 5 machine in a year, it just goes offline and you can't, there's nothing you can do. Can't run it offline, so oh well. It's still a monthly fee on 5DX, and people have been upgrading. Yeah, people are happy. Another thing, Ice Home Arcade, I'll get their email sometimes. They sell arcade cabinets for home use, so you can buy, it's just for US and Canada, but you can buy the giant Jurassic Park Raw Thrills cabinet, Arcade Legends cabinet, it's like, kind of like a big main cabinet. You can buy a life-size air hockey, skee ball, like basketball machines, table football, and delivered to your house, like arcade cabinets. So you're kind of cutting out any kind of middleman.
That's nice, actually.
Because a lot of companies do sell privately. You kind of got to jump through a few hoops.
Yeah, you do.
So you got to go like, I'll actually live at home. I want to buy a cabinet. Oh, really? And you got to talk backwards and forwards. But with Ice, it's just like, yeah, we want to buy it. Cool. Well, where do you live? I live, in Accent. There you go.
That's a good. That's a very good service.
Kind of cool. And at the IAPA show, a big arcade trade show in America, Arcade Matt, aka Matt Magnan. Not Matt Magnan. He's the RTG player. Matt Magone. Arcade Matt, he's got a massive YouTube channel. He does like ticket redemption stuff. So IAPA, LAI Games, they made him like an ambassador at their stand. So he went around, like he promoted their game Angry Birds Coin Crash. He had like a QR code. You scan it, you get like discount information about the game. What interested me is this is the first time that I've seen an arcade company get someone like an influencer or someone in the scene, because he does play arcade games as well, traditional arcade games. And they've actually gone, oh, this is a good thing. We need to get engaged in social media. We're going to pay him. He's going to walk around promoting. And because he's got good followers, like it did well. So we need to see more of that, really. And I hate this big disengagement between arcade companies and the players, and social media and consumers. Like, if you could just do more things like this and get people integrated, I think there's a big fear of arcade industry actually talking to players, because I think
they're scared of the feedback.
They're worried about the feedback.
They're scared about the feedback
because they're just not. They kind of know that like we're on a different wavelength.
Yeah.
Or our way of thinking is old, even though we might not actually be old. Our mentality is old.
Yeah.
So this was very refreshing seeing that. Very refreshing seeing that.
Do you have any cliff notes on the bottom?
Apart from this stuff, okay. So, I don't to ask you about this. Like, personally, what would be your take if? So round one again hinted in some notes they want to come to Europe. They've actually said like we would like to come to Europe. Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously they opened in Russia, which is Europe. But do you think if round one came to Europe? I know there are a lot of, how should we say, private networks in America. There are a lot of independent arcades in America with games that haven't been released, but people are not really, they're kind of turning a blind eye. Do you think that will be the same if round one came to Europe, or do you think they'll go, no, we're going to...
I think if round one came to Europe, considering how much winding down the companies have done in the past year, because you've got to remember, it's not one of those things where in the home territories it's going strong, right? We've already had the cancellation of the Pop and Music reboot.
Yes.
We've already had the cancellation of the Jubi
reboot,
reboot as well. We've had Sega sold off their physical arm to Gigo officially now, so they now don't own any physical amusement arms as well. And looking at all of sort of the games and their sort of update cycles are a bit all over the place at the moment due to COVID and stuff. You sort of look like, I don't think we're in a situation where it's like, oh yeah, these companies are now suddenly going to expand into new markets sort of thing. Because GDPR is still a thing. That's still a lot of paperwork. Then you've got to look at, is round one alone enough to justify creating a proper subscription service for Europe? You also, Square Enix pulled out of arcades in general this year, because we've had Gunslinger Stratos, Dissidia, Theatre Rhythm, Starwing Paradox, and Love Live all cancelled their end of service now as well. So that's the majority of the title games there. Nezca Live in America is a very watered down version of what it is in Japan.
So that's less games available.
Like, I think it's only 6 or 7,
okay.
And I don't even think the service is still running anymore.
Oh.
Actually, I have no idea. Someone will have to double check for me.
Okay.
But they did open when they did expand into America before. I know the few things that they did is that they released a smaller version of Nezca Live, and Gunslinger Stratos had an international release in America as well.
Oh, okay.
So that was that. But now, looking at the industry as a whole and where it was now before the last time we had this discussion, because we had this discussion when DDR8 had the location test at LV. We spoke about this exact same the same thing.
Yes.
But things are very different now. COVID's happened. The industry in Japan is borderline collapsing at this point. And I know a lot of people are saying, oh yeah, but that's not the case. When independent arcades have to run a GoFundMe to keep afloat in Japan, you kind of know it's bad.
It did get me a bit. It wasn't so much clickbait, because people didn't necessarily say this, but it was like, all Sega arcades are now closing. Well, then, yes and no. Like, it's just rebranding. The arcades are still opening. The people weren't closing. And I spoke to someone on Twitter. It was the guy from Nintendo Life. I said, dude, like, it's kind of a clickbait article, because you should have said, like, yeah, they just rebranded, but Gigo already owned like 80% or something.
They owned it already. Yeah,
and he was like, no, well, people need to know the news. It's not clickbait. I'm like, well, it's not, but it kind of is.
I think people have to be clear that Gigo owned it from before.
They weren't, and everyone, like, I'm in these groups, like Nintendo over 30s group, like Sega Arcade, International Arcade Owners, all these groups, and everyone's saying, oh, it's terrible, all these arcades are closing. And I'm like, no, and everyone's going, no, what do you mean no?
Well, the thing is
they're not,
that
though.
I think it's a bit late to be reporting on that, because arcades have been closing for the past 8 years.
It's just the usual doom and gloom, but no one ever reports on like the positive stuff, like, oh, these arcades opened, that reopened, this is happening. Everyone's like, people just like negative news for some reason.
I think the positive thing, like, to be honest, it doesn't matter how we spin it. Like, the arcade scene in Japan is falling apart.
Oh, yes, in the last few years, especially. Yes,
Like COVID's not helped. The
yes.
government didn't really support them through, like, with all of the stuff with when they had to close and stuff, like when the Manors had to close. But I think the most positive thing, and I think people tend to forget this, is that arcades in the West have been growing considerably in the past 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Even with COVID, there's even more than there was before.
Yeah, during COVID, man, people were opening up, planning permission.
I think people tend to forget that. I think the interest in arcades has shifted rather than it being, it's dying altogether. It's just the West has had a resurgence of, we want more arcades and people find it more interesting.
Do you feel it's more people coming of age who grew up with arcades and now have money and are in their 40s?
Yeah, and then they want to see more of it. I think that's a part of it. And I think also people looking for experience, the older experiences and stuff like that, but more modern sort of thing, which is when it's sort of come back. It's like when fashion comes back in, really, sort of thing.
Oh shoot! Well, how many minutes are we on? I think it's been a long one, dude.
It's on 26, I think.
Okay.
So it's not too bad. But yeah, to answer your question in simple terms, I don't think there's anything really to worry about round 1 coming in and how it will affect any private networks or anything. I think companies, for the most part, will be... I don't think round 1 are going to bring people like Taito or Konami or Sega in like that, because if they are not able to really push in their home markets, what reason would they have to expand and spend more money in there as well? Because at the end of the day, publishing elsewhere costs a lot of money.
Yeah, and licensing. That's why we don't have Wangan over here.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, actually, I just missed out on like 2 really important things, actually.
What did you miss out?
That's why I was asking about... Time constraints. Not you. I just thought I'd got to say these couple of things. Thank you for the answer, by the way. Very cool. I've got such bad memory. Wangan. So... Flashback, Bradford, Mo Patel. He's selling Vlitz cabinets, actually. £900 for a single Vlitz cabinet, £1,200 for a 2 joystick Vlitz cabinet. All brand new from Japan, and Vlitz Diamonds. I've only got to visit his arcade, and he has set up a Mario Kart Japanese online with card support, and Wangan Midnight Maximum Tune 6 with the terminal support. So Wangan 6, I believe it's the second one in Europe. There's one in Netherlands as well.
Okay.
But yeah, he's got Dance Rush online, Wangan, and Mario Kart. Wangan 6 is just amazing. Like, I played it on other setups, but not an arcade setup before.
With Wangan, it's so good because it's a franchise that has modernized so well in the modern day. And I think a lot of arcade developers have missed the boat on that considerably. And I think the team at Wangan have done an excellent job of keeping the spirit of their game in such a modern form.
It's just amazing playing it, man. If we could just get 4-player Wangan here, it would be incredible. And the music's really good as well. Yuzo Koshiro, and he replied to a tweet of mine a year or so ago, and it was me saying, you know what, I was just playing Wangan 3DX before, and I really love the music, and I'm sure it's a spiritual, progress of Streets of Rage. And he replied, he said, yes, Toby, you're right. For me, Wangan is a spiritual successor in music-wise, and he said not many people know this because we didn't really get Wangan in the West. So if you like Streets of Rage, especially if you like Streets of Rage 2, you have to listen to Wangan Midnight Maximum Tune, the soundtrack by Yuzo. Any of the games 1 to 6, you just got to listen to them, and you'll be like, yeah, man, it sounds like Streets of Rage 2.
Speaking of which, just a random note, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but the music producer for Ridge Racer has been really active on Twitter recently. And he's been basically doing mock-ups for if there was a new Ridge Racer. He's been putting tracks up saying that if there was a new Ridge Racer, I would be doing this.
So you reckon he's hinting?
I think he wants to get something greenlit, but they recently did the anniversary collection of all of the soundtracks in one set. Okay. It's similar to the Outrun collector's box.
Yeah.
They did something like that for Ridge Racer, and it has the Ridge Racer arcades in there as well, soundtrack in there as well, which not many people tend to forget that they did have arcade versions of the Ridge Racer games. So yeah, it's
I guess so. Yeah, because it's a generational thing. Because obviously that's how we knew it. But yeah.
I think in terms of like music, people that make the soundtracks for those sort of games are very open to talk about, especially from the Japanese side. They're very happy for when people discuss like their stuff, sort of thing. So yeah.
The other thing was we got mad arcade news coverage like in London earlier this month.
Vice article,
and then I managed to get that reshared and published in like some trade magazines, and I was really happy about that. I'll give you some background. So a guy called Carve who plays Pump in LV. Was playing once, and this guy was like, "Oh, you know, I didn't know there's a scene about this. What are you playing? Like, I've never seen this before." Blah blah. Talking to him, and he's like, "Oh, by the way, I'm work for Vice. I love to do an article. I just need to get it, you know, greenlit." And he was like, "Oh, okay, cool." He let us all know, you know, in the arcade WhatsApp chat and Discord, and we're like, "Okay, cool, keep us posted." Months later, he's like, the guy was on, I believe it was on the Thursday. He messaged all of us saying, "Yeah, I got the, you know, I got the budget. All systems go. What are you guys doing tomorrow?" And we're like, "Yeah, cool. So I just sent him all the information I could over email, everything about Trocadero, because he wanted to cover Trocadero as well. And a lot of us came out on the Friday, took our pictures, interviewed us briefly. He put it all in an interview, and he spun it in a really nice way. You know, I thought it was really nice the way he did it. He didn't make us out to be losers or anything. He made it, you know, different walks of life, different kind of players. You got like bodybuilder Patrick, like flexing his muscles, like, you know, got his pecs out. Really cool. And it was just a really nice article, man. It got so much exposure. I mean, it got shared in a few trade publications. So the people that shared it in the trade publications, they said to me, "Oh, this is great. We really like it." I said, people aren't really going to react to it, and people didn't, because they're going to look at it and not really understand the arcade industry as I, you know, my love for the arcade industry, right? but the main thing is, it's there, and it's staring you right in the face. People are playing current gen games that came out, you know, a year ago, and there's a market for it. So there you go. And they look at it and they go, "Oh yeah, but that couldn't happen." But the main thing is, it's there and they've seen it.
Well, the thing is, the case study is that we just talked about earlier, but arcades are opening up in the West. So it's something they might not take. I think by the time that they notice, it will be too late by then for them to jump on the bandwagon. But alas, until then.
But yeah, you always got to do your bit to just make. I've always said this, right? You've got your retro game scene, which is big and run by, you know, older people, which is kind of like the music game scene now. It's very sort of not gate kept, but it's very niche and very. You have to go to, like, so someone said to me, you go to someone's shed and they got all their games, or someone's house, or a private function, right? It's like a members only kind of club.
It kind of reminds me of the Wired article that happened where it talks about the guy trying to get his machine privately and stuff.
Yeah, it's really hard to do that. But that was more about music games, though. And you got families and family entertainment centres that are regular arcades, like Namco Station or Funscape or bowling or whatever,
Gravity,
right? Or Gravity, like for kids. But you've got the middle range, who are the people who go to the arcades, and, well, not the most now, but who should be, you know, teenagers who are really into music games and current games, but they don't have the money, they've got the knowledge, but they don't have the space or the money to play these cabinets or have these cabinets. So I think that they're the worst, and they're the least arcades have current gen games. So they're the most, like, you could say, minority group who aren't being catered for, which is very frustrating, because they don't have the money, they don't have the space, but they want to play these games. So when that article came out, it was like, yes, look, there is another niche, there's another scene that you guys don't understand. You know, it's frustrating, that's all.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's it. But no, it's really good news, really good it got done. That's it for now. Guys, please leave a comment if we can be more concise. I always get a bit paranoid, like we're not concise enough, and it always goes on for like more than 20 minutes.
I think because we've got another project coming up, which will be soon. Yeah. So where we go into a lot more detail and we talk a lot more in depth about this sort of stuff, about the range of topics of arcade stuff. But that is a story for another day.
That's a story for another day. And another thing we've got is we'd like to interview a few people in the London arcade scene. We're going to give them some open questions and just see what they say. It'd be nice to get some new faces.
Yes.
Different actual players, not us. But if you've got any feedback about what we should talk about, if we're too long, too short, anything, just say, please, please.
Bring us on board.
Please, yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Until then, it's been good. It's been good doing this again.
Stay safe.
And everyone, stay safe. And we'll hope to see you at one of the sites in the UK. Cool.
Yeah.
Until next time.
Take it easy.